Waukesha County business says it can help you get approved to live with your dog or cat, even if your landlord won't allow pets.
Fox 6 investigator Brian Polson back with us now to show you the online letter writing service one psychology expert calls professional nonsense. Brian?
Yeah, Ted and Mary, Touch ESA is a website with an office address in Elm Grove. Its founder promises to hook you up with an official disability letter saying your dog or cat is an emotional support animal. You don't even have to talk to a therapist. All you need is $50 and about 15 minutes.
In you go.
There's hardly a stronger bond
All right, lay down.
than the one between humans and pets.
If I didn't have him, I would really struggle.
But it's not easy finding an apartment that allows pit bulls.
They're so misunderstood.
So Kelly Farrell asked her doctor to write a letter proclaiming hers an emotional support animal.
1, 2, 3, he was in. Very easy. Walk nice.
Farrell struggles with anxiety and depression
Good job.
and says West gives her purpose.
Once we get out and get moving, I get those endorphins. I see him happy. I feel happy. And the entire day already shifts.
But finding a healthcare provider who will approve an ESA can be costly and time-consuming.
We have a service here that can help ease your stress.
And that's why Chris Sass says he started Touch ESA, a website that boasts the lowest cost emotional support animal letters anywhere. $49 to help you keep a pet, where pets are not allowed.
It's not a money game, it's more of a cause.
Touch ESA is one among scores of letter writing services that have emerged since 2013, when the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development declared that people with disabilities should be allowed to live with emotional support animals, provided they submit reliable documentation of a disability-related need.
You can get a $49 letter that unlocks federal disability rights for $49. And that's somehow mental health care.
For years, Chaz Stevens ran a competing website called ESA Doggy.
I'm raising my hand. I created part of the problem.
Now the self-described ESA compliance provocateur says he tests other sites to expose them.
I'm trying to make right what I did wrong 5, 6, 7 years ago.
When Stevens ordered a letter from Touch ESA in August, he admitted on the form he has no real mental health need.
I want to screw my landlord out of their fees. That's why I want a letter.
Within the hour, based on nothing more than a brief exchange of text messages, he got this: a medical determination letter finding Chaz Stevens has an emotional and mental disability that limits his social interactions and ability to cope with stress and anxiety. For that, it says he needs Scooby-Doo, his emotional support Labrador, as a reasonable accommodation under the Fair Housing Act. It's signed by Dr. Lori Gebhardt, a licensed Wisconsin psychologist Stevens has never met.
It's bogus. It's fraudulent.
You know, is it fraud?
Sass now says he mistook Stevens for a different customer and refunded his money.
I made a mistake, and I corrected that mistake.
It's a gross violation of the standard of practice.
Dr. Jeffrey Youngren is a psychology professor at the University of New Mexico and the author of a published standard for doing ESA assessments.
A comprehensive mental health evaluation is not an easy task.
According to the Youngren model, approving an ESA should involve a thorough assessment of both the individual and the animal together. But Touch ESA's entire assessment is based.
How often have you felt down, depressed, or hopeless, irritable and impatient, afraid, or panicked?
On an online questionnaire.
In the past 7 days, I felt like a failure, I felt helpless, I felt tense.
Fox 6 producer Adrian filled one out.
My stress level interferes with my communications with my loved ones, friends, or coworkers.
In about 15 minutes.
And that's it.
The next day, she got a letter virtually identical to Stevens. A fill-in-the-blank mental health Mad Lib, also signed by Dr. Lori Gebhardt.
She's one of our clinicians, yes. We have a few.
Dr. Gebhardt declined our request for an on-camera interview, but in a written statement she says Adrian's online evaluation met diagnostic criteria that satisfies the state requirement for an ESA letter.
It's all self-reporting.
If it hadn't, she writes, there would have been a follow-up conversation.
The certification of a complex disability based upon a questionnaire is professional nonsense.
The American Psychiatric Association says it is unethical and illegal to write unwarranted ESA letters, and it warns that a proper disability determination should not only be rigorous, but should also include an assessment of malingering.
Do you know what malingering is?
Continue.
Lying.
You can't really determine anything from a questionnaire.
Marquette psychology professor Stephen Saunders says the questions posed by Touch ESA are so obvious.
I feel unhappy. I find myself lonely.
Anyone could game the system.
You give this to a fourth grader and tell them, answer these so that you come across as distraught and really easy.
How do you know she's not lying? She wants a letter.
It's, that's a great question, Brian. It really is, but it's self-reporting.
The truth is, Touch ESA practically guarantees you'll be approved.
Your website says 99% or more will get a letter.
For the most part, right, absolutely, absolutely.
At least it did, until after this interview.
As long as you pay your $50, anybody can have a letter.
That's not our integrity. That's not what we believe in.
Made a payment, got a letter.
Stephen says it was so easy, he never even filled out a questionnaire.
I tripped up, intentionally laid a trap for Chris Sass. And he not only fell on it, but he handed me the grenade and said, I'll pull the pin for you.
In 2020, HUD changed its guidelines to say ESA letter writers should at least have a professional relationship with the client.
Does Dr. Gebhardt have a relationship with our producer?
Well, just, define what a relationship is.
Have they ever met?
Is that define a relationship? I don't know if that defines a relationship.
Well, how would you define relationship?
An interaction. It can be nonverbal, it can be verbal, it can be a form letter.
Some Wisconsin lawmakers now want to require that relationship be established for at least 30 days.
If that's what the regulations state that we have to do, then that's, of course, what we're going to do.
But when it comes to relationships, there's something Chris Sass is not telling you about Dr. Lori Gebhardt.
What is your relationship with her?
It's a relationship that we developed a while ago. She is a doctor.
You see, Touch ESA's office address in Elm Grove is the same as Dr. Gebhardt's Mind-Body program. Same building, same suite.
Does the relationship go any further than that?
I don't know what that means.
But they share something else, too.
Is there a romantic involvement? Does she live with you? We're together as a couple.
Their home address.
I do not think it's unethical at all.
A place where they can provide each other emotional support. No letter required.
Now, if you have questions about this story or my earlier story on service animals, I want you to grab your mobile phone and scan that QR code on your screen. It'll bring up a link that you can click on, a form where you can ask me a question. More on that in a minute. In her statement to Fox 6, Dr. Gebhardt says she has only written 5 letters for Touch ESA. She described Chaz Stevens as a former competitor motivated by retribution. However, based on a complaint filed by Chaz Stevens, the Wisconsin Psychology Examining Board has now opened an investigation into Dr. Gebhardt.
I'm quite certain there are landlords, business owners, restaurant managers reaching for their phone to get, because there are so many questions. It's so vague. You mentioned legislation in your story that could affect ESA letters in Wisconsin. Where does that legislation stand tonight?
Well, it's actually advanced. It's very close to becoming law right now. It would require healthcare providers to have at least a 30-day relationship with the patient before writing an ESA letter, and it would create a $500 fine for anyone who presents false documentation of an ESA. The state Senate passed the bill this week. It just needs the governor's signature. We did reach out to Governor Evers, but have not heard back on whether he plans to sign that bill.
Imagine there are a lot of people who've got a lot of comments and questions, so let's go back to that QR code. The viewers can ask about that for both of your stories tonight.
That's right. I'm going to be back sometime during the 10 o'clock show. We're going to answer some of these questions. I'm already getting them. You guys are asking great questions. If you have more, we're going to talk about them. We won't have time to answer them all tonight, but we will be talking about them on this week's episode of Open Record.
Look forward to every follow-up you're about to do, Brian. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.